Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure for me to be talking with Andrea, and I'm delighted to be asking she a couple of questions so you guys can know Andrea a little bit more and get more excited than I know that most of you already are to watch her presentations in Brazil. So first, thank you so much, Andrea, for taking the time to talk to me and to introduce yourself to some of the audience that might not know you here in Brazil.
Oh, thank you very much for this invitation to introduce me. It's an honor for me to speak to you and to introduce here myself.
Oh, great. So, Andrea, I'd like to start asking you, how did you get involved with schema therapy? How was the process of your studies that led you to schema therapy?
Yeah, it's a bit like this. I am a counselor for couples, families, and individuals, and I'm doing parents counseling for many years. So, and I'm trained in an approach, client-centered and also systemic, and there are conventional trainings for parents. Yes, and I recognize that for some parents, these conventional trainings doesn't work that good. So, especially when the real child of the parents triggers wounds in the parents, so that they can't get in these guiding and caring mode, what we want, and they also wanted to be there, most of them wanted to be there. But when the child is so, the behavior of the child is so challenging for them, it's good to get in a deeper view what is going on the inner stage of the parent, so that they can move to this, to a better behavior and a better interaction with their child.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That is really nice to hear, especially when when I worked with CBT for children and adolescents. The way that parents can get triggered is often a really big struggle for therapists as well on how they manage everything. So, what would you say there are the main focus and perhaps the difference between schema therapy coaching for parents than the other approaches that you have studied previously?
Yes, I think it's one big important thing is these view on the inner stage of the parents, and these working with the mode model and also addressing the schemas, because I think it's also good for the relationship between the counselor or the therapist and the parents that we have this mode model, because it's possible to have lower feelings of guilty and shame when the parents say, okay, one part of me is that's not good, but the others I can do good work, or I can have a good contact with my child. So, and also another important thing is for me to look for the positive schemas that they build up in their own childhood, to have a good resources to stay in this, or becoming in the to come in this guidance and caring mode. So that is also a thing that I find very special and good in this schema coaching for parents. Yeah,
that's awesome, and I was really pleased to hear you talk about the positive schemas, because we're so used to talk about the early maladaptive schemas, and sometimes we might get lost in ourselves and just focus on the negative and stop thinking about the positive and all the resources that most of our clients already do have, because everyone has some good resources. We just need to invest on them and to try to navigate the other parts that might not be as developed as we like to. So in that regard, let me ask you, your main focus now of work, as far as I understood, and please correct me if I'm mistaken, is about schema therapy coaching for parents, right?
Yes, yeah.
And what do you think there are the main difficulties in your work with parents?
Oh, I think one of the main difficulties is yes, that when they don't get in a good regulation of themselves, when they are hurt, when the inner vulnerable child of the parents is really hurted by the behavior of the child, that's a good thing to do this with schema coaching, but it's also challenging because they have to learn to soothe their own inner child, to get in a better mood, to be a good parent. So yeah, that's sometimes challenging.
Yeah,
for them and also for the therapist.
Yeah, I can imagine that. I can imagine how it could be tough with this when the regulation is not functioning the way that we would like to, and how that could be really, really tricky for us as clinicians on how to navigate that. And
yes, and another point, I think it's also difficult when the parents are not a good team as parents. Yeah, if they are arguing most of the time, or they not have a common view on the how to bring up the children.
Yeah.
So that's
when the system is not really working that well, probably the child will see as well, and probably it will be tough and I know that it's tough for you as a clinician to navigate that and how to work as a team, right, with everyone and navigate all that system. So that's really nice, and I don't want to be giving too many spoilers to our attendees on what you'll be teaching here in Brazil, and I know that everyone is really excited for you to come here and to share some of your wisdom and knowledge with us. And I would also like to ask you, what are your expectations and what are you most excited about coming to Brazil and to our conference?
Oh, for me, I think it's very exciting to get in an exchange with you, with others, with others participants at the Congress. That would be nice to exchange ideas, and also I'm just most interested about your culture. How it is to live in Brazil, and maybe sometimes I also have here in Germany clients sitting with roots in Brazil, and that would be good for me to have knowledge, a bit of a background. Yes, that's I'm curious and really excited to come.
And I can assure you that we are really excited for you guys to come here to Brazil as well, and I'm pretty sure that you'll get a little bit of the Brazilian experience about our culture. As I've mentioned to you previously, we have a lot of attendees that are already confirmed from all over Brazil, so we are such a huge country, so you'll see all the differences and all of the different cultures that are within our country. So I'm pretty sure that it will be really nice for you, but I'm sure that we will learn a lot from you, from Christoph, and from all the other speakers. And we are really, really excited to have you with us. And we are counting down the days now, because it's getting even closer and closer and closer. So we are really
Yes,
excited for that.
also for us. We are also counting the days here and prepare, and yeah, that's good.
Awesome.
That would be a
Awesome.
very, very nice experience. I'm sure.
Yeah, it would be really, really nice. And I'd like to thank you again, Andrea, for taking this time to talk with me and to give this interview, to introduce yourself to all the attendees. And I'm pretty sure that everyone will be delighted to hear a little bit from you, and probably will get more and more excited about listening to your presentations at the conference.
Thank you very much, Leonardo, for these words and for this interview.
Yeah, thank you so much.